Hey Zeus, this is a quick demo video for you. I've got two hilts here for you. First, I've got this guy, the Acolyte, that I did a quick fix on that we'll go through, and then we've got also the Darth Vader. So first we'll start with the Darth Vader. What I found was the SD card was corrupted. I use the SD card that comes with the CFX board. 9 times out of 10 they're fine, but this one was corrupted. So I took that one out. I gave you a good SanDisk 16 gigabyte SD card, and then I also adhesed your board down to the chassis. When it came to me, it was floating up. If it does touch the inside of the pommel, it can short or not act right. So I adhesed that down, but in a way where you could still get the board out. So I've been taking the board in and out, doing some updates on it and figuring it out. So you can get that board out. I just used a pair of tweezers after I popped it loose and then put it back in. So that board's not going anywhere on you. Brand new SD card. We've got a battery in here. We'll go ahead and take it out. And then I also already have a test blade locked in because I was testing it extensively before this video. So we'll go ahead and pop the battery in it. Now you can see this slides right on. No problem. Like I said, that board's not going anywhere. It's down there nice and tight. Activation right here. Auxiliary.
Sound bank selection.
Everything's working properly. So that one's good to go. Quick fix on that guy, and then a bad SD card. Wiring was good, everything, and then like I said, it just adheses the board down to the chassis so it won't move on you. So I took the battery out of that and slide the pommel back on here, screw it in. And I'm going to take this test blade out because this is the same test blade I use for everything. So I'm going to need it to show you the next saber. So the next one is the Acolyte. So on the Acolyte, what I did with the chassis, it's different from this guy. So the pixel holder is in here in the emitter part, and then the chassis is down here and it's separate. This guy, the chassis is all in one. So, hold on, screw it. Get a nice music sound with those threads, so I'll probably just put some WD-40 on there real quick. So that'll get rid of that. It is a nice smooth in and out though. Your chassis right here holds your battery, holds your board. It comes up here and it holds your switches, and these are actually plungers, what you can see. So your activation and your auxiliary right here, they're separate pieces that when I slide this chassis into place, it lines up the switches. So these are right on top of the switches in the chassis. And then it also holds your NeoPixel connector. So everything is one piece, and it's held in by this set screw. So when I got this from you, the set screw is really loose. This thing was wiggling around. It was throwing the alignment of the switches off. So obviously when you press a blade down in there hard, you were kicking the chassis back, misaligning the switches, and everything was acting a little wonky. So I lined it back up, tighten this set screw up here. I tightened it up pretty tight actually, and then you know, everything is nice and solid. So we're gonna throw a battery in here, do a few tests so you can see what I mean. So we're gonna screw this on. This was one of my favorite etches actually. It's kind of nice to see it again, but anyway. Activation. Auxiliary. As you can see, those buttons are working nice. So I was kind of surprised to hear that you had to sand your blade for so long. I think I know where you got it from. I don't want to say in this video, but I have a test blade here. I've sanded minimally to test 89 sabers because 89 sabers are known for having a tight blade socket. But this fits in here nice and smooth, no lockup. Now what I do is as soon as I feel that blade hitting the pins, I push a little bit and then lock this blade retention screw in. I don't put a whole lot of pressure on it. There's no need to. Everything is nice and straight in there, so as soon as you feel those pins making contact with your blade, you're good to go. Went to sleep, so I woke it back up. Auxiliary. I'll hold down the auxiliary when the blade is off.
Sound bank selection. Exit menu. Crystal focus.
Everything's working really well. This is one of the stock fonts, so it doesn't have smooth swing, but we could turn it back off and go back to the other one.
Sound bank selection.
I think it was the other way.
Crystal focus.
Right there. Of course, hold this down. Activation. All right, hold it again. Everything's working well. So that saber is good to go. All it needed was this set screw right here tightened down to hold the chassis in place. That was it. And to recap, this one I adhesed the board down to the chassis, and then I also swapped out your SD card and gave you a better aftermarket one. So my fault there on the SD card. Thank you, sir.